today. So I decided that I was going to jump on Instagram because I just feel like giving some guidance. If anyone joins here, you can ask a question. Tell me what's on your mind. Let me know where you would want to receive some guidance from spirit. So how I work with the angelic realm and source energy. I bring through messages for clarity and healing. I work on a soul level, which means that the work is being done in the spiritual realms and then filters down into the 3D experience. So if there's any blockages in your life, if there are things that are heavy on you, trauma, ancestral stuff, romance, pretty much everything anyway. To be honest, we can tap into everything because everything has its roots in the energetics, right? So why not go into the energetics and clear it up there where it actually everything starts, you know? We often think we have to clear things in the 3D. If there is a problem, we have to work it out with the person. And sometimes this needs to happen, you know, because we need to learn. We need to hone our human skills. And sometimes we just get to go to the source and clear it up there, you know, bring healing and clarity to the source of where something happened. So yeah, I'm just going to keep talking. Maybe I haven't been very active on Instagram, so I guess this gets a little bit buried, but I feel like I'm still going to post it. Because yes, I think it's so important to understand that we're not just our human aspect that's here on earth, we're also a soul that has an aspect. The biggest part of your aspect is actually in the energetics, you know. And it's also this force that guides you through life. Everyone has a higher self that overlooks your human experience. And you can start working with this higher self to make your life here on the ground easier. And you also have a spirit team that helps you. And it's always there. Just because we don't see them doesn't mean they're not there. Okay, that's a belief I struggled with a lot because I felt like, oh, I don't see them like in physical before me, so they're probably not there. I always felt very abandoned until I realized they have always been there. It's just a very different experience from what we experience here with people on earth. They're not as solid, you know. The spiritual realm is very subtle. The energetic realm is very subtle. And it's those intuitive nudges that you get that don't scream at you. Here's a very important thing to distinguish. Your fears, your traumas, they're going to scream at you. They're going to pull at you. Your intuition, spirit, the energy that is benevolent, that wants the best for you, that is unconditional love, doesn't scream at you. It's not in your face. It's very subtle, but persistent. So when certain patterns or intuitive insights show up that are gentle, that are trying to tell you something, that's your intuition, that's your spirit, or your spirit guides, or your higher self trying to bring your awareness and attention to something. But it will never be as loud as the fears, because the fears literally, they scream at you. And I always like to use this analogy of someone coming to your house, knocking at your door. Intuition will be very gentle and like knock at your door, see if you're there, see if you're listening, and see if you're willing to open that door. And if you don't, intuition is going to be like, okay, fine, I'll just come back tomorrow or another day or whatever. It's very gentle and soft, but strong. Whereas fears or traumas or things that potentially don't have your best interest at heart, they're going to be screaming at you and they're loud and they want your attention. So that would be the person who rings you, not just knocks on your door gently. That's the person that comes, knocks at your door, rings like a couple of times, and it's just not going away. And if you don't open, they start like yelling, not yelling, but like speaking loud and be like, are you there? Hello, open the door. Come on, I'm here. Like, open the door. Like very intrusive is the right word. That's usually your fear. Whereas your intuition is rather silent but persistent. Fears also, they come and go as fast as they desire. The intuition is always there and it will just keep coming up until you become aware of it. So it's also important to train your intuition to be more in touch with that part of you that oversees your experience here. And how you can do that is by setting the intention to become more aware of these subtle clues that when you look back have like a thread weaving through your life, you know, like these little dots that you can start connecting backwards. That's your guidance system. And your guidance system, again, is your higher self, is your spirit guides, your angels, spirit, everything that keeps this world together. All right, I'm just going to do a general reading here for whoever is going to be watching this. Let's see what Spirit wants to bring through for whoever is watching this, okay? What do these beautiful watchers, is that a word, need to know from you, Spirit, today through me? Because I'm just the messenger. I'm just the channel. That's so interesting. We already had these cards today. Okay. So what I'm getting here. Hello. So I'm just about to start a channel reading, and I was just about to say the first sentence. So you're right on time, whoever just joined right now. So what I'm getting here is that someone is actually desiring love, a cosmic union, a spiritual love, a divine partnership. But it's, let me just wave at the people who just joined. But you're not allowing yourself, okay? That's why the card is reversed. You're not allowing yourself to feel that, to admit that to yourself, and to be like, yeah, that's what I want. I really want this deep love, this deep relationship, this cosmic union, this heart-to-heart connection, okay? It's like you're not, your heart desires that, and you have inner vision about it, maybe with a person, maybe not yet with the person, but it's almost like you know it's there, but there's some parts of you, some aspects that are actually closed off to this, that don't want to see that. Now, the question that Spirit brings through for you is, why do you not want to see that? What is actually blocking you from allowing yourself to have this desire? And it's about finding that pattern or program or belief system that is not allowing you to want what you want. You know, because you want what you want. And that applies to everything, not just to a partnership. Hi, Gabriela. We're just doing a general reading, and I just started it. So maybe if that's for you, maybe not. But if it resonates, it's for you. So it's about a partnership that someone is desiring and doesn't really want to admit to themselves. And my guidance is usually that it works a certain way. They bring something up, and then they bring up the questions you have to ask yourself, or the things you need to know or see about yourself in order for that higher vision to come in. And here we are, the visionary, okay? Because what you can't see for yourself cannot actualize in your life. So you need to see that what it is that you desire. So if you really want this loving partnership, if you cannot see it in the sense of you're not allowing this to yourself, you're not even going there with your mind, with your emotions, with your imagination, how can it actually step into your life? If you even in the imagination, you're like, no, no, no. And don't get me wrong, this no, 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 it's normal. It's because maybe this partnership requires you to work on yourself, to let some certain beliefs go, to let certain hurts go from the past. And that's not always easy. So that's why this question keeps coming up, like, what is it that is holding you back from even just wanting to want what you want? And once you have that, it's the first thing that pops to your mind. Maybe it's because it would disappoint someone else in your family, or it would be like, it's a complicated situation. Whatever it is, just stay with whatever comes up. And honor that inner knowing, okay? Honor that inner knowing. Because it's there for a reason. And now, of course, you can just say, well, whatever, I'm not going to, dig into this. I'm not going to take care of this. I'm not going to work on this. Well, that's your choice. But then you will never get to where you want to go. Because we have desires and then we have obstacles that are in the way, which act as our lessons and opportunities to grow. That's why we have these desires in the first place, and we're not just given them. Because then we wouldn't grow. And the soul is here to grow and to learn certain aspects of this human experience and the soul experience as well. And what a lot of us are currently learning is to trust in the unknown. Okay? Just because we don't know it, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be good. The human mind always wants to know how this is going to work out, how it's going to turn out. Is it going to turn out in my favor? The answer is always yes. Eventually it will. Maybe not on the first try, on the first sight. It might not look like it was here for you. It might feel like it was here and working against you. But it's always, when you look back, and here we come back to the beginning of this transmission. When you look back, you can connect the dots. And I've had so many experiences in my life where I'm like, what the hell was that for? What the fuck? Why did I have to go through this? And now I look back and I'm like, it makes perfect sense. And it's like Steve Jobs says, you can only connect the dots looking backward. But what keeps us from doing what we are supposed and what we want to do, what the heart wants to do, what makes you really happy, and it doesn't matter what it is. You might want to be a singer, you might want to have this beautiful partnership, you might want to start a business, whatever it is. And the things that are holding you back from it, it's often the unknowingness how it's going to turn out. It's that lack of trust in the unknown, because the human mind always wants to have security, wants to be sure that things are going to work out. But if you already knew that eventually, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe not in a year, but maybe 10 years from now, if you went down this path, and even if not everything was smooth sailing and easy peasy and everything just came flying to you, or was served on a silver plate, it still is here working for you in your highest good. With that knowing, you can just do whatever you want, because then you have trust and faith into that eventually it will work for you. And then the mind is actually at ease and can deal with whatever comes up in the in-between from now until you're there. But a lot of us hold themselves back because the mind needs that secure, that almost like that guarantee that things are going to work out, like almost like a game plan. Yeah, I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I will get that result. It's like society has conditioned us into that, because it's like all these coaches that say you just have to follow these steps and then you get this result. That worked in the old world, but we're moving into a new world where things change all the time, and you need to be flexible, and you need to follow that intuitive guidance to keep on track, because the track is moving all the time. It's flowing. It's a lot about adaptability in the years to come. And adaptability doesn't come from attaching to a game plan that was set in stone for an outcome that can change along the way. So trust in the unknown, because that's going to keep you going and it's going to get you far. But if you attach and keep holding on to that belief that you need to know before you take your first step, you're never going to take it, and you will never get there, and you will regret it. The path unfolds because it's fluid. It unfolds when you start taking the steps. It's not a path that is set in stone. That's why it's so important to keep taking the steps that are going to move you forward. That was an interesting reading. It was more like a message. I'm going to pull a final card from a different deck. All right. We had another card falling out earlier, which is birth. All right. And they're giving me the analogy of When a woman gets pregnant, she doesn't know how these 9 months are going to unfold. She knows that after 9 months, so God will, and everything is going to work, everything works out in a healthy, normal way, regular way. She's going to have a baby in 9 months. But everything that's in between, she doesn't know. But what does she have? She has trust in the process, in her body. She cannot control it. I don't know, but there might be certain things you can control, but you cannot really control your pregnancy or the growing of your baby. You just have the faith that after 9 months you're gonna be holding a beautiful, healthy, newborn soul in your arms. And that same trust that applies here applies in your life. It's just that we're not used to it, but we are used to it in different contexts. So it's about taking that context of having the faith into birthing a baby. It's the same faith you need to birth different things in your life. They might take longer than 9 months. It's a different process, but the idea, the essence is the same. All right. So one final message to close this reading, this transmission, this message is effortless. You see the waterfalls. Actually, it is waterfall. I didn't even see the name. Water just trusts where it is being guided to go. And it will always end up in a bigger body of water that holds it. Even though it might not know how long it will take the water to get there, it just follows the path of effortlessness. That means, it doesn't mean that there might be a rock that the water needs to flow around, or that there might be a tricky part or whatever, or that it might take a different route and then it comes back into the mainstream. But it just keeps flowing with a direction in mind. Even if, we're going really deep here, even if the water consciousness might not know where it is going, but it trusts where it's being led to. And the water consciousness knows that it's going to end up with more water or in the earth. So it also means that where you are being guided to is where your heart wants to go, where things feel passionate, where things feel fun, easy. It's like a river that flows. A river never flows upstream. It always flows downstream. So it's the same with your path. Not every path might be the right path, but you will know if you're going upstream or downstream, because upstream is going to be a hell lot harder than downstream. And sometimes we want to go upstream because we think, again, the mind thinks that's the way to go, that's the game plan. But that's where the adaptability comes in and the natural flow, because water always flows downstream. So ask yourself, where you're going against the current or where you're actually flowing with the current. And when you're flowing with the current, you know that you are on the right track for whatever it is that your heart desires. It doesn't mean that you're not going to encounter obstacles along the way, but they're here to bring you to where you want to go, because it always offers a growth opportunity. All right, it feels like that's all that needed to come through for today, and I hope this message helped you. Let me know in the comments and feel free to share. I'll see you in another life. Bye-bye.